Hi everyone. Well, welcome back to our little vlog. Are you all right, Jane?
I'm good. I'm all good. I'm all good. Yeah.
Fabulous. Fabulous. So we did say last week that this week we are going to talk about speed foods, because with food optimizing with Slimming World, your sort of plan is broken up to 3 easy steps, and free foods and speed foods is one of those steps. So Jane's going to first of all talk about the importance of speed food. So over to you, Jane.
So with the speed foods, they are really, really important because these are the foods that are low in energy density. So whilst we don't talk about calories and we don't have to think about counting anything like that, the plan is all worked out and it's all done for you, which is really, really great, isn't it?
It is great, isn't it? Because you don't have to count these, the calories or anything like that.
From anything like that you've from that dieting trap that we can so easily get into. I mean, I can remember again, as I've spoke about my history, I can remember counting every single, that was another, what I went on, counting it all up continually to do that. But this plan is already done for you. It's already done for you, so you can free your mind from all of that. However, it's still really important that we are having that reduced calorie intake to lose the weight. And that's where the speedy foods will actually help do that, which is brilliant. So every meal we ask that where it makes common sense is that at least a third of your plate as part of your portion is full of speed foods. So yeah. So what are speed foods then, Zoe, to you? What are they to you?
Well, obviously it's not meats and things like that, because that's where your proteins come in. So it is your fruit and veg. However, it is extremely, extremely important that you are aware what are free foods and what are speed foods. And in our Being Loved with Food Optimizing book is where we find those lists, isn't it, Jane? So it's under all the free food steps. So, and do you know what? It's all symboled out for you. So the speed free foods are the ones with the S symbol. And there are some really common, like so common, aren't they, Jane, sort of misconceptions of what is speed food and what is free food. For example, bananas. Bananas are a great source of fruit to fill us up, aren't they? But they're not a speed food. And if you think that you're reaching for a banana as a snack, and in your head you're reaching for that speed food, which is what we recommend as well, isn't it, Jane, to reach out for those speed free foods when you want in a snack in between meals and things like that first, above anything else, so that you are protecting your weight loss. And if you are reaching for a banana, then actually you're not doing what you think you are, or how well you think you are doing, isn't it?
You've got, because obviously bananas are still free, they're still those free foods, but obviously the plan does actually say a third needs to be speed, and where possible, when you are snacking, choose those speed foods as the first option to go for. It is all stated in the plan.
Absolutely. I mean, just on page 20 for the free food, for the fruit, there's a big like round circle saying speed awareness, and it says where you can fill at least 1/3 of your plate with speed free food with the S symbol, and make it your first choice between meals. And that's a big thing, isn't it? A really big thing to remember.
Zoe, it doesn't have any magic power, does it, sadly?
Unfortunately not. If you do have something that's high in sins, because you have speed food, it's not going to counter it out, is it? It is all adding on top. We need to think of these things piling up, don't we, throughout the day, as a whole, not just you know, they can't knock each other out at all.
Again, it's reducing that that energy intake that will bring us in with the weight loss.
Absolutely. So what other fruits or veg do people get confused about with speed foods?
Well, sort of like things like mango and pineapple and all those lovely grapes.
Yeah,
which
kiwis. I'm just going to put
but
kiwis in there because
yes,
one consultant got it wrong in a competition I ran in group.
I know. That was me. You see, we're not perfect, are we? So, but yeah, it's important. I mean, to make sure, you know, that you know, like it says in the books, if we're going to snack, to go for those speed foods as a first choice. And sometimes, you know, it's making that mistake thinking that, you know, the grapes and things like that, you can very easily get through loads of grapes, which is really great, because they are free. But if you're thinking that those are your speed foods, then you're not really.
No. No. And do you know what? Something really important that always stands out, that I heard in your group, Jane, you said this to your members, and it's now something that I do say to my members. We do say a third of the plate, don't we? And actually, how easy is it to put one lettuce leaf, a tomato and a bit of cucumber and spread it on your plate to make it look visually, from a bird's eye view, 1/3 of your plate? And that's still not 1/3, is it? It needs to be piled up. So you always suggest actually looking at your plate from the side to be able to make sure that it is full and it's 1/3. It's matching the other 2/3, isn't it?
Yeah. Or again, if it doesn't match, removing some of the free food so that it is equal to your speed, so that it's proper. You know, it's not about you could so often you can see that you've got a mountain of potatoes and a massive piece of meat and like one lettuce leaf, and think, well, that's my you know, that's my third speed. Or having a plate with no speed of food on it at all, and then having an apple afterwards and saying that's my speed. No, actually, that's not actually really on your plate. So therefore, that's not reducing your intake.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And you just said there, didn't you, about putting, you know, sort of having replacing some of the free food. Now we do know the free food is unlimited. We're not weighing and measuring it, you know, it is as much as you can have. But as you say, it doesn't have to be that we are adding the speed food onto the plate. If your portions are with the free food need reducing to allow that speed food on there, then that's what really should happen, isn't it?
It is, and that's what brings you in with the amazing results, you know. And it's sometimes having that full understanding of how this amazing plan works, and also, you know, trying different things that, you know, it has been, I've spoken in the past about it being a real education to me, you know, because I've tried different things that I would never have, you know. I used to walk past things in the supermarket and think, oh, what's that? You know, like these long, tall white radishes that look like carrots and things. Because we're so lucky, aren't we now, Zoe, that we have so many things that we can choose. You know, got so many different international foods. I'm thinking, well, I wouldn't know what to do with that, so I'm not buying it. I'm not even going to try it. But now we've got things like, I mean, look at us on YouTube. Now we've got things with YouTube, and you can, you know, find out how to prepare food. You know, what do I do with this? What is the best way? You recently tried celeriac, didn't you, Zoe?
Yes, my members will be giggling at this moment in time. Yeah, I'm going to leave the celeriac in the shop.
It's not a very attractive thing either, is it?
No, my husband did think, well, when I sort of got it out in the kitchen after I bought it, sort of like, when that's something like I'm a celebrity, that should be on there. you know, sort of thing. But there are so many things. I mean, looking at the list, obviously I've got the free food vegetable list here. And there are things that I've never even seen in the shops or heard of. You know, let's have a look. I mean, what have we got? I mean, vine leaves. Obviously, I've heard about vine leaves, but I've never actually seen where you can buy them. But they're a speed food, as well as actually they've got a great source of calcium and, you know, fibre as well. Tomatillos, are they tomatoes? I don't know, but they're on the list.
No,
I've never heard of them.
I don't know what they are.
Exactly. You know, there are so many things, you know, to look through. I mean, artichokes, that's not a popular thing that people have, but it is speed as well and great source of fibre. And then on the fruits, let's have a look at the fruits. I mean, ugly fruit. I've never seen an ugly fruit.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, I have. I've seen ugly fruits. They're like a cross between a grapefruit and an orange.
Yeah.
You know, like those big pomelos.
Oh yes, yeah.
They're a cross between a melon and an orange, I think.
Yeah, they're almost grapefruity, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
But, you know, I tell you another misconception with speed foods and free foods, which got me when I began my journey, and that was sweet corn. So it took me a while to realise that sweet corn was free food, so you can have as much as you want. But then baby sweet corn, so the little like corn on the cob type things, they're speed.
Yeah, they are. They're really great as well to nibble on.
Yes, yeah.
Sugar snap peas, they're great to nibble on as well.
Yes, I have those.
I like things that are really crunchy, that you can, you know, that you can really chomp on.
Yeah, well, it's like your pickles, isn't it? Like your pickled onions, your beetroots. You know, you could have like a little pickle tray, mix of all different things to snack on and things like that. So that's really great.
Yeah, passion fruit as well. Yeah, so I mean that's something that I really like it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so hard in its shell, and I remember thinking, what do I do with this? What do I do with it?
It is sometimes that though, isn't it? How do you prepare it? How do you cook it? How do you, you know, what do you do with it? You know, sort of thing. But yeah, so for a new member that's starting out, with my new members, I always suggest actually getting a highlighter pen and actually sort of highlighting the ones that they actually like, so that on the list, one, it helps with the shopping. You know, it helps make the shopping easier because you can just see it dead quick. But for me, when I did that, that visually taught me what was speed, what was free, you know, and really helped me. Have you got any other different ways that, you know, you'll tell your members to?
Well, that's a really good one, actually, really. And I always say, you know what, we never say you have to eat anything you don't like. I mean, the planet is just so massive that, you know, that you have such amazing choice. And again, it is an education to make sure that our bodies are having the right amount of fiber, the right, you know, and so no, really, but I would say, you know, make a little note, like you were saying, you know, highlight them, or just to clarify as well, just have a look. And now we've got the app. I mean, with the scanner. I mean, that's an absolute total game changer. For us at Slimming World, it really is. I mean, I just love zapping through things and you know, and so that we can find out what is and again it will tell you, you know, you'll come up with an S just to clarify its speed, because you can, you know, you can sometimes, you know, when you are in a supermarket thinking, is it speed, isn't it speed, question ourselves, because like we say, a lot of people do get those misconceptions that all fruit and vegetable are speed foods, and they're not.
No, and actually you've got more chance with the vegetables because there are more speed symbols on the free food vegetable list than what there is on the fruit. So it's actually, I think, more the fruit that people get a little bit more confused about, isn't it? So it's even more important to have an idea of, you know, sort of what's going on, you know, sort of there, isn't it? So
yeah.
So brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I mean, we've done competitions before. I'm running a competition in my groups at the moment for speeding tickets. So, you know, they've got to show their speeding tickets, well, show their food to get the speeding tickets, which is always a bit of fun and really boosts, you know, sort of all the food talk as well, doesn't it? It's, you know, it works really, really well.
Helping each other, isn't it? And what one person likes, another one doesn't. But somebody could suggest something different. I mean, even like me, I'm still learning about. You know, I'll pick up an idea and I'll go, well, I would never have thought of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because we're slimmers at heart, aren't we, Jane? Yeah. You know, that's the thing. We are slimmers. That's how we got this role, because we've done the Slimming World Plan. So, you know, in our hearts, we are slimmers. So, absolutely. And, you know, we've already touched on it briefly, that it says, you know, to have at least a third. So you can have half, can't you, Jane? You can have half a plate of, you know, speed food, and that would even boost you even more.
That's right.
You know, and it is where appropriate. So sometimes a lot of people think because it's got the stuff in, then, you know, like say a bolognese, or, you know, because obviously you've got your tomatoes, your passata, your mushrooms, your onions. You still need that third on the side, don't you?
Visual see, yeah, you do.
Yeah. I mean, where we're talking about where it's appropriate is more like your soups, for example. You know, to do a tomato soup, you know, you wouldn't be having necessarily a salad with it, but actually it does contain. So it is where appropriate, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And sometimes, you know, a lot of people don't like jacket potato with beans, for instance, with a salad, and because they, you know, it doesn't go together, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's common sense. It's
It is just the case, though, isn't it? The more speed you choose, the more weight you lose.
Yeah, and that's because of the reduction in the energy. That's because, you know, of the, which we don't have to even count or even think about. You know, it takes us, it switches the brain off that dieting mode, the trappings of all of that we can get into. And instead,
absolutely.
At the end of the day, we love food, don't we? We love food. And never has there been a plan any better than this anywhere.
No. I mean, nothing's off the plate, is it, on the plan? That's the thing. You know, it's not even just about the food, is it, with Slimming World? It's all about the mind.
It's not, you know, it's just, you know, developing a different healthy lifestyle, really.
Yeah.
For a lifetime.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, what a fantastic morning.
Brilliant. So what are we going to talk about next week?
Ooh, well, one of the biggest things that we hear in our groups is what people need help with, and that is snacking. It may be nighttime snacking, it may be throughout the day snacking, it may be while you're cooking and you're reaching for the snacks. So next week, it's going to be about snacking.
So when we have a snack attack, we're going to just talk about that, you know, so yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay. So take care, everybody, and it is all about, you know, thinking positive and really getting a full understanding of how our Slimming World Plan really does work, and having the knowledge that you know, that people are losing massive amounts of weight with it. So yeah.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
brilliant. So we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yeah. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.